Alright people, let's do another episode of the cyber kill chain. So, in the last video we looked at the kill chain as a whole. So it was on November 7th, so it's 10 days ago. And the idea is now that we take a look on the next slides at each of the phases and we go a little bit in depth, and for that I'm going to, as usual, without a hurry, we are going to create another slide here. There we go, Reconnaissance, that's what we are trying to do here. Now let's add another text box and let's try to just, let me see if that looks good. No, it doesn't. Let's put a shape in here. So, what are we trying to do here? First of all, let's gather some ideas of what is reconnaissance in the cyber kill chain. And as usual, let's not be in a hurry. So we live in fast times, okay? So we always want knowledge quickly, and we want a 5-minute summary of everything. Don't do that mistake. Don't expect anything quick in the kill chain or in cybersecurity in general. There's nothing quick about it. So I was just figuring out how to sort this. So let's put some bullet points in here. Some ideas. So what is reconnaissance? And what are we trying to find now? So reconnaissance is any sign of the adversary to gather information about the target. Well, what is the target? The target is the company that you are paid for to protect. Okay, so the target, that's your company. Either your company, or you might be employed as an external consultant oftentimes. So this is your company. Something here that you want to protect. That's the target. Okay. Now, our goals for today. And at this point I want you to stop the video for a moment and think for yourself. What would you like to know out of that video when it comes to reconnaissance? So you found that video somehow on YouTube, and you're specifically looking at this. It says reconnaissance, and I mean, you have some idea, you have some questions in your job. So pause the video for a little bit and write down your questions that you have in regards to reconnaissance. Type them right into the comments if you like. And let's see if we can, how much of these questions we can answer, how much we can't answer, and in the end we can always make a follow-up. But I will share obviously the goals that I would like to see. So my goal would be how to spot it. How to spot recon. We call it just recon, okay? That's the short term for reconnaissance. So how to spot recon. Then what to do about it. Sure. There are ways how to deal with it, and there are countermeasures. As we said in our first video, the reconnaissance is the one phase that there's not much you can do about it, but we will try to do something. And also, let me copy that real quick, put it here, and let's put here 16. There we go. So, how to spot recon, what to do about it. Yeah, what is the potential damage? Potential damage of recon. Can there be damage if somebody is doing the reconnaissance activities? Okay. And then obviously maybe possible risks. Possible risks. So is reconnaissance, even though it doesn't do anything, but simply by looking at it, is there what associated risk can we think of? Okay, so that's real quick what I can think about, and now we are going to while I'm talking here to you guys, as usual, I have a browser open on another screen, and we are going to try and find something on Google and try to get closer to the topic um, with sources. Okay. So, and meanwhile, while I'm looking at this, try to formulate questions yourself. So, uh, Lockheed, Martin, kill chain, and then Reconnaissance. And all I want to do now is I want to find some credible sources for just Reconnaissance. Okay, and what we do as a first step is we're going to take a look at what does AI have to say about that. And I'm going to copy a little bit of this. So this is now all right. And we are going to copy this over here. And then we use these clouds. And I'm not sure if you are familiar with this typical PowerPoint terminologies, but this is just a cloud of thoughts. Okay, so first find something from Google AI. Okay, this is what you find at the Google search at the top. If you they added this recently. This will be our first thing. So let's take a look and see, do we agree with the AI answers? I'm not sure to what extent I made that clear, but I'm not a huge fan of AI. Especially, AI is a broad term, we got it, but especially the large language models, ChatGPT and whatever has been so popular in the past. Don't trust that stuff, okay? Large language models are not there to make to reason. They don't think. Large language models, they statistically pick the best word that they have based on the training data. That's what they do. But the training data can be garbage, and this is what you get as a result then. First, take a look at the number of activities. Pay attention to AI, how it structures its answers. So, whenever it comes up with a bullet point list, it's an odd number. It will be 3 elements, 5, 7, 9 not so much, it doesn't fit on the page. And now take a look at this. How many bullet points do we have? Well, we have 5. That's typical AI style, let's say. And then the other 3 bullet points, it's 3. It's not 4, it's not 2. AI for some reason always tries. There's a good reason, by the way. So I read how to spot artificial intelligence answers, because in my job, if somebody delivers me something and I have to review that kind of stuff, I want to know, is it AI or is it a human thinking about something? And here you can see whenever it's 5 or 3, it's very likely AI. Why? Because some artists out there, they figured out that odd numbers are appealing to the human eye. That's the reason. And the training data that this stuff has been fed with, it contains a lot of examples of that, and that's why AI always gives you odd numbers. Well, the more people figure this out or start figuring this out, the smarter AI becomes. The training data will have 4 and 2 elements, and it will vanish eventually. But right now, this is the way how you can spot it. Alright, a little bit about AI rent and why it is, but let's try to read what does it come up with. So, Lockheed Martin kill chain. Reconnaissance is the first stage where attackers gather about the target to identify vulnerabilities, potential entry points before launching an attack. Agree, there's nothing you can say about that. Totally fine. This phase involves research to understand the target's network topology. Yes, let's Google that. Network topology. Okay, so here you have one of these intelligent words. Why do we even use words like topology? It is scientifically correct, but in the real world, use simple language. Okay, I Googled that now. Network topology. Okay, don't agree with everything you read. Okay, so network topology, and let's get some pictures to see what it looks like. Okay, what is network topology from IBM? Good source. All right, so we will just go from one to another, but I just want to show you something here and why it is not the best word. So this is from IBM. Uh, can I? Let's give you the link for that as well as usual. So here is some, and I will be jumping a little bit as usual. I hope this is not too difficult on your eyes, but the logic is that we always provide you with the link so you can go here. Alright, there we go. This is where we got this from. This is network topology. Okay? Now ask yourself, is that what you're looking for? Is this what we mean by reconnaissance? Bus, ring, mesh, tree? It's not. Okay? That's what I just what I want to show you. The AI, for some reason, it thinks topology is the right word. As far as I can say, oh, I just messed up something. Okay, what is network topology? I disagree with that stuff. So let's get ourselves a box now. How did I do this? So we need a box like this. And then format options, and there was some way to, I think it was in the coloring. Yeah, here it was. Transparency, yes. Nice. So make it yellow. And then transparent, but not quite, just a little bit. Come on. Transparent, custom, gradient, custom. Ah, there we go. If you want it transparent, you just, yeah, so Google needs to step things up a little bit. This is the transparency. I won't remember it, but this is what I want to do. There we go. So now we click on this thing and find network topology. I just want to show you that these words, they shouldn't be used. Okay, this is network topology here. What is network topology? Okay, let's shift this to the top now, like this. Oh, that's not very, that's faster. All right, what's network topology? And now again, let's put a bubble in here, and I want to show you that topology is not what you want, and we find in a moment. AI buzzword topology, and that's not what you want. There we go. This is not the buzzword that you are looking for. Alright, now let's try to get an arrow. That's good. Let's connect it like this. Yep, that's good enough, I think. That's good enough. It's not pretty, but it's okay. Where's this? Where's this? There we go. Okay, like this, like this. So why is it not the word? Because this doesn't help you. Topology is a computer scientist's word. We agree with that. But what you actually want instead of topology is network architecture. Okay, that's how it's called. And we are going to look for that now. Network architecture. Okay, that's more like it. And now I'm going to show you maybe also from, well, there is Cisco. That's okay. Oh, that I like too, but I don't know the, no, we don't want that. Oh, ResearchGate. Yes, I like this one. One moment, you guys. I am looking for, so the site is checking if I'm a human or not. Okay. And while it is, we have detected activity from a, okay, it doesn't, now. It didn't trust that I'm a human. Okay, open the graphic in a new tab. There it is. It is not very sharp, but it doesn't matter at this point. We want, there we go. So this is what you want to, this is what an attacker wants to see if he does reconnaissance. And that's called a network architecture. Okay, that's not topology. So, as usual, the first sentence of the AI. Oh, wait a minute. So let me... Why does it not allow me to write something here? What is going on? Interesting. Formatting options. I think this was the issue, right? Strange. What is going on there? Text. Oh, there we go. I think this is... Nope. Yeah, so I'm not very familiar with stuff, so... What is going on here? What is this? What is this? Sorry, I can't possibly add... Oh, yeah, because that's... that was a screenshot. Okay, this is what I want. There we go. Now I can write. It was a screenshot. Okay, so this is network architecture. This is what you're looking for. So we again add this, copy and paste. So this is the correct buzzword here. The attacker, let me copy this now. The attacker wants to find out as much as possible about your architecture. Alright. You know what is a pity about this stuff? People, especially junior consultants these days, and that's what I read on LinkedIn and in the newspapers, everybody right now, and we are in the year 25 right now, is hyped about artificial intelligence. And I read that junior cybersecurity positions are not being stuffed anymore so much because they believe AI is going to do the job for them. Well, it isn't. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, so this is first. Don't trust that. So let's see what else it says. It wants network topology, systems, operating systems, applications, and any connections to third parties. Okay, that's good. I agree with that. It's very generic. So basically you can't mess up much besides that word. So the other words, they make sense. We will go through them. Then goal. To identify and understand the target's weaknesses and environment. Yeah, that's a general term. Yes, weaknesses we talk about. Let's copy that as well. So let's try to get rid of this stuff that nobody understands what it even means. Weaknesses. Okay? What does it mean, weakness? So it's not weakness, it's vulnerability, okay? Weakness, it might be correct, I understand, but I always talk from a perspective of somebody who's doing this in his daily job. And if you talk about weakness in your daily job, the professionals are not going to take you serious anymore. They will be like, okay, that's a typical consultant who is like straight from university. That's not what you want to be. Yes, you want to be from university at some point. Well, not necessarily in cybersecurity. You want to be educated one way or the other. But you want to avoid academic terms that have no meaning in our real life. Don't talk about weakness, it's vulnerability. Okay, that's what you want. And I do an explanation, what is this in English? How is that sign called in English? It's not my native language, so bear with me. But yeah, we add this to emphasize the importance of something. Explanation mark. Explanation. No, that's not the right word. Whatever. So it's a vulnerability, okay? And then we think one step further. So what does that mean? Well, it has something to do, whenever you think about vulnerabilities, it has something to do with a scanner. There is some sort of scanning involved in this. That's what you need to understand. Okay, so it's not a weakness, it's a vulnerability, and there's some sort of scanning is involved. And we are going to copy that bubble now, like this, like this. There's the bubble. So there's some sort of scanning involved. Let's think about that. And that's the way I approach these things. So we are 20 minutes in the video now. We are by far not done because these topics, they can go deep as you want pretty much. So again, don't be in a hurry, okay? If you are at your lunch break and in 10 minutes you're like, try to find time for these kind of activities. And also, if you want to do this a little bit interactive, have another browser window open while we are going through this and try to find stuff yourself. Okay? Try to find stuff yourself that you want to use in your job. Don't trust a random nobody on the internet like me. Okay? I might be somebody who has no clue whatsoever. Also, what I did in the last, after I published the first video, unsurprisingly, it had, I think, 4 views or something like that. So the visibility isn't there. But what I did then is I asked myself, why is nobody watching this? Well, there is 100,000 videos out there already on the Lockheed Martin kill chain. I looked up some of them, and what do you know? It's the typical stuff that tries to summarize a complicated topic in 2 minutes. And these 2 minutes or 5 minutes videos, like kill chain for dummies or whatever, yes, in 5 minutes you can get some stuff like that goes as deep as this maximum, and they think that's it. So we did a good job here. They didn't. Okay. So I looked up the other videos and I was not happy with it. We need to have a little deeper approach, and there are deep videos out there as well. So I didn't watch a lot of them, but my idea is to build the slides together with you, and any of these stones that we can tip over or step over, we need to figure out without a hurry. And if this video goes on for 2 hours, that's what it is. Okay, take your time. Alright, but here some sort of scanning is involved. So we went away from weakness to scanning, and now we put this down on the slide as well. Weakness. Okay, and now we need some symbol. Let's see if we can. These are equations. This is a call out. Interesting. Arrows, shapes. Yeah, that's the shape I want. There we go. That's the shape I want. Okay, so we do it like this. And in your job you will always use this type of stuff. So get used to people drawing things, and also you might be a consultant. I think this is some security professional who is in-house advising your colleagues on security. The effective way to do that is not by talking, but make sure you have something for the eye. Okay, make sure to have 2 channels of information, because just listening to somebody, that's very difficult. This could be a podcast, but this wouldn't be there would be no effect behind it. So what we want to do is always prepare, and you see how I prepare that. It's simple. That kind of stuff I could be showing to a colleague. The only difference is there would be some company logo somewhere, there would be some agenda, there would be some management summary. We don't have that here. But the slides here, a slide like this, I might as well use that in my job, you know. Nobody cares. Do that. Do the simple way of approaching things. So we understood now that network topology is actually architecture, and this is how an architecture looks like. Before we go into scanning now, let's take a look at this architecture a little bit. And the source for that, yes, I need to give you the source. Wait a moment. Reject cookies as usual. We copy this, and you get the source. And the source is it's ResearchGate. Okay, it's also I will not give you some random consultancy links here. I don't like them. Okay, how do I make the stuff? Oh, it's the minus here. So I'm used to Microsoft PowerPoint, but I like this a lot as well. Okay, so this is your ResearchGate link. And what do you have here? So you have obviously the internet. You have some router. Then you have some firewall, and then you go into the systems of your company. So what they did not put down here is the network zones, like DMZ. Maybe they have it on another screen, but typically you want to see the network zones. I don't see that here too much. Let's see if I can find, oh, National Cybersecurity Competence Center. I like that. Oh, I like that a lot. Let's look this up. Yes, 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 that looks so nice. Then open this up in a new tab. Alright, let's do a new window and let's add network architecture. This is part 1 and this is network architecture part 2, and these are actually the zones. Yeah, network zones. Whenever we think about security, here they dive right into the stuff. They have switches, they have network access storage, they have wireless controller, surveillance cameras, people with their desktops sitting in notebooks, phones. They go right into the machines, but that's usually not what you want. You want to start a little simpler. You want to start like this. Okay. Okay, I don't understand that language. Is it French? It doesn't matter, you guys. So it can be any language. If the picture is good, it can be in African. You will understand that kind of stuff. So here, the color red, it's the internet. It's dangerous. This is where the reconnaissance is taking place. From the internet, the guy is doing reconnaissance on your systems. Then you have a firewall, and from the firewall it goes into so-called DMZ. This is a military term. It's called demilitarized zone. Okay. So, but first let's give you the link again to that. It's here. A demilitarized zone is a zone where your web server, it says server web, so it's a web server pretty much. French language is kind of funny. Mail server you have there as well. So this is the stuff that is immediately connected to the internet. Okay, so here you have the internet over the firewall. It somehow reaches your web server. This is how it goes. This is your DMZ. The DMZ is orange for a good reason, because it has direct access to the internet. Okay, you don't see that immediately here, but this is how it goes. And scanning happens on this web server. Port scanning, all kinds of scanning. So let's put correct buzzwords. Let's put this away. So what do we have here? Actually, let's leave one of those. So web server can be scanned from the internet. Why is that so? Because you can reach a web server from the internet. It has a port open. And let me Google, because I'm not a seasoned network person, but HTTP port. What port is it? Is it port 80? Yes, it's port 80. So, yes. Let's put it here. So this is the port that is open. Open port 80. Then you have port, so that's HTTPS. Google that yourself. HTTP is 80. HTTPS is 443. So S is encrypted. But there are more ports, okay? So we can look them up. For example, port 21 is file transfer protocol. 21 is FTP, also used. And there are many more. Okay, let's write it like this. Many more. So what does the attacker want to do? He wants to scan the ports of your web server here. It's as simple as that. And also the mail server possibly, but the web server is the most easy way to scan. And then from the firewall you have, as you can see, a way into this green network here. So here it says imprintante réseau, whatever the heck that means, but this looks to me like that's your office. Okay, there's office computers, there are your printers. Then you have a yellow zone. This is the so-called intranet. So here you have file servers, Maybe some French people are watching this. You have an easier time than me now, but it doesn't matter. Okay, uh, this picture and this foreign language shows if you don't understand it because of the language, the picture isn't good enough. Okay, that's what it is. But here you have file servers. Okay, you can call this a yellow one because file servers usually can have files on it, viruses and all that kind of stuff. Okay, here is contrôleur de domain. That's your domain controller. Okay, that's also very, very important part of your network. And then what do we have on the left side? Visitors. Okay, so this is your visitors LAN, your network for visitors. Okay, you have Wi-Fi. So this is blue because it doesn't have access to anything. Okay, it has access to the internet, as you can see. It doesn't have access to the file server or to anything else. Okay, now we got it. And as you can see, the most so the party is going on the right side. From the internet, you go to this firewall, and then you go to the file servers, then to another firewall, and to the end users, and then you have here your web server. This is what the attacker wants to see. He wants to see the IP addresses of all of that. That's the network architecture, the network zones that you want to figure out about a company. You want to have the IP addresses of all of these network zones, and this is what you want to scan. Alright, and now let's go back on slide 9. This is how it looks like if you don't draw the network zone. So this is like a little bit chaotic, but these are the things that you would expect there as well. Okay, so how did we even get to that topic of network architecture? Well, scanning. Okay, so let's go to slide here, to slide 11. There is some sort of scanning involved. And let's Google now vulnerability scanners. Scanners tools. Okay. So let's copy the tools in here now, and then we see from there. Alright. So this is what again AI gives me. What I do is I try to make sense of that, but some of the stuff I recognize: Nmap, Wireshark, Nessus. Okay, so these are the things that I have been using some years ago when we had these hacker workshops and stuff like that. So Nmap might be the most popular one. Okay, so let's focus on that. Let's focus on the simple things. Rapid7 is also Qualys, OpenVAS. Here again, Rapid7, yes, and those are for companies to defend themselves. Okay, so these vulnerability scanners, you have to install them, and as a defender, you get the vulnerabilities then. But we want to have the attacker's perspective. So what kind of reconnaissance can the attacker do? Well, it's Nmap. Okay, Nmap can be used. Let me grab this one to not create it again. So let's focus here on Nmap now. And now I want to show you Nmap is a free tool, and this is why do I show this to you so popular, so like in a popular way? Because Nmap will be the tool of choice for any hacker these days. It is open source. It is usable on Linux. You can use it from simple Linux installations even. You put an USB stick in an internet cafe, and there you go. You can just use it. So there is very little requirements for Nmap. It's very well programmed. I think the programming language might be C, something like that. So it's one of those languages close to the hardware. And what it achieves is it has a very high performance, so you can run it on the so-called potatoes if you like. There is no requirements. The other tools here, Rapid7, they are a little bit more sophisticated. Wireshark is a tool that you can use once you are already in the network, but Nmap you can use from the outside. Okay, so let's focus on Nmap a little bit, and let's try to figure out what it can do and what it can't. So why is Nmap, such a big deal. Okay, let's figure this out now. Okay, so I copy this and I copy that. Oh, this was not the correct thing to copy. Okay. Like this, like this. Again, we are not in a hurry. Try not to be upset when I take a little longer for these things. The idea is really to take time, and the longer you think about something, the more time you take, it's not wasted, okay? So when I was younger, I thought I have to make the best out of my time, and 30 minutes is a lot of value, and I have to, don't think like that, okay? You have 2 hours per day, you have 3 hours per day. Take that time, and whenever you feel that 5 minutes of your time is already valuable, reduce the stress, reduce the amount of effort that is on your shoulders. If 5 minutes appears a lot, there's too much on your shoulders. Try to get rid of some of that. You can't think straight about cybersecurity when you are under stress and when you are in a hurry. Expect the adversary, the attacker. These guys are not under stress. They carefully pick the target, they sit in a cafe, they casually drink the coffee, they go, they smoke a cigarette with your employees without them even knowing who the heck this is, and then they do some casual Nmap scanning from the internet cafe. The attackers, they are not stressed out. So don't be stressed out as well. So now we want Nmap. Nmap capability overview. So right now I'm on Google again, and let's see again the core capabilities of Nmap. Let's see what we have. Yes, and again we use AI, and whenever it is not helping us, we use something better. So first of all, this is one capability. Also, of course, let's use the Nmap logo here. I like the Nmap logo a lot. It's not yellow in real life, but you get the idea. Here it is. Nmap. So core capabilities. Let's look at what Nmap can do. A host and service discovery. What is a host? Well, a host is any of these machines. Okay, the web server is a host. Your intranet is a host. Any end device, your Windows machine that people are working on, that's a host. Okay, so you want to discover these hosts. So what does it say here? Host service discovery identifies active devices on a network and the services they are running. Okay, service is connected to port. Okay, it's again one of those words where we are like, what does that even mean? A service that they're running? Well, HTTP is a service. Okay, it's something that you can connect to. Alright, port scanning determines which ports are open, closed, or filtered on a target system. Nmap finds, you just give it an IP address and it gives you the open ports. Then, operating system, that's what OS stands for, and version detection. So it tells you what version the web server is running. Specific versions of applications running on a host. Well, applications it will not find. Okay, it needs to look at the port and then it will get the application, but it will not get a full list of applications. That's not true. Identifies the operating system and the specific versions of applications running on a host. That's wrong. That doesn't do it. Thank God it doesn't do it, okay? But here, versions of applications running on a host. Nope. That's not gonna happen, luckily. Oh, wait. Custom color, red. There we go. So that's not what it does, okay? It only gives you the version, and I write it down in a bubble because that's kind of important. Nmap can only provide you with the applications that are linked to open ports. Okay, that's the caveat here. Any application that is not behind a port, that is just running, will not be discovered by Nmap. Okay, Again, this sign here. Then, vulnerability assessment. Assist in identifying potential vulnerabilities by detecting open ports and running services. That's correct, because open ports, then the application or you can interact with the port. If you know what system is running on, you can try to log in, you can try to send it some information, and it will give you something back. Network inventory, what is this? Provides a comprehensive view of network assets, which is useful for asset management. Not sure about that. Okay, not sure what that even means. Okay, it looks again, it looks intelligent. Don't buy that. It doesn't make sense to me. Advanced capabilities, scripting engine, dynamic scanning, interpreting results. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, look. We are going to the Nmap site. Okay. Okay, so just in case you're wondering how does Nmap look like, it's it's not very readable, but we will take a look at that as well, because this is the stuff that you wanna look at in the end. Wait a minute, we copy this. We copy that. So this is where I get it from. Nmap.org. This is your primary source that you wanna look at. The thing is, it's very difficult to read. It's for hackers, okay? And if you don't understand what the heck that even means, don't worry about it. I have to take a little bit like this. So it doesn't fit on the screen, all of it, so that it's still readable. That's why I have to put it a little bit like that. So look, this is the option summary under this. Let's try to read it. This is the best source. So when on page 12 I mark something red and say, oh, I'm not sure, trust me, I'm not going to mark red any of that. That's the developer of Nmap, okay? These are the professionals, and they try to appeal to a certain kind of people, okay? So green on black, that's for me the kind of hacker that's sitting in a dark room with a pullover, you know, and sitting there and hacking the stuff. So this is even the appeal of it. You immediately know what the target audience is. That's your adversary. That's the guy trying to hack you. Let's try to read it, the first sentence. So options summary. This option summary is printed when Nmap is run with no arguments. Yeah, so you can just execute it on any machine and it will show. This is a command line. So you don't even have to open the website. You get it immediately. This is nice. I'm not going to execute that kind of stuff myself. Why? Because my hacker days, they are kind of over. I got rusty with these things. There are other people in my team who are doing a better job in these kind of things. But the important part is, as you get older in the cybersecurity, you don't keep up with the young people anymore who are hacking and they're faster in executing these type of commands. My job these days is to be familiar a little bit with what I see here, try to understand it, but I no longer have to be capable myself to execute any of that. You need to know what is it good for, and why should I do this? These are the questions we are trying to target now. If you want to figure out how to actually use that on hands, well, there are courses on that. Go figure that out. We just want to see or understand here that we are still here, okay? We are still here, reconnaissance of the kill chain. And as you can see, the next thing we know, we are deep into the Nmap commands. But that's how it goes, okay? That's cybersecurity, that's the rabbit hole. And that's the depth you gotta understand. Okay, let's continue reading. This option is printed when Nmap has run with no arguments, and the latest version is always available at, yes, exactly, you can just free of charge download it here. It helps people remember the most common options, but is no substitute for the in-depth documentation of the rest of this manual. Have fun reading this in-depth documentation. We are not going to do that here. I'm not going to understand any of that. You might want to. Okay, so if you are into the networking stuff, Nmap is fascinating to use. Remember, it gives you some dopamine when you execute it successfully. It gives you something. It's just nice, okay? But here, some obscure options aren't even included here. Yes, it has some obscure options, like evading detection. Okay, it has that kind of stuff. But let's see if we can figure this green stuff out now. So, nmap, scan types, options, and then target specification. So that's how you execute it. Let's Google before we dig into this. It's how does a typical nmap command even look like? Let's try to. So I have to open Google again. Nmap example commands. Let's try to example network scanning. Okay, what do we have here? I don't like it. It doesn't look appealing to me. What do we have here? Yes, I like that. Kali Linux. It makes a good impression. Yes, yes, yes. Let's copy that screenshot. I like it a lot because Kali Linux is another thing that you might want to dig into here. Okay. So let's put it here. Let's put it like this. Alright, so I don't like it. Wait, I don't like it. So let's duplicate this. Yes, let's remove it here. Let's put it here. So example command execution, we call that. Okay, it's at the top. So as you can see, it says nmap. That's what it says here, nmap. So these are usage. So this is what you gotta do, nmap. Then you have some scan types. This is the -SL. This is what it means. And if you look what it means, SL, it's list scan. Simply lists targets to scan. Okay. And then it says an IP address. That's the target specification here. It didn't receive any options. That's optional, I guess. And target specifications. So target specification is just an IP address. So 127.0.0.1, thank God they just used the local host here. I'm not sure, but let's edit. So you need to be familiar a little bit, at least a little bit. So when you see 127.0.0.1, please educate yourself just enough to know what that even is. And that is called the local host. If you have no clue what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. Just go a little bit back. Eventually you will figure it out. But some IP addresses are unique. Okay, this is one of those. That means he's scanning just the system he's running on. And then you get nmap done, 1 IP addresses scanned in 0 seconds. So for some reason it didn't figure anything out here. Interesting. So it didn't find anything on the local host. So what it's doing then in the second try is it's using 192.168.0.0 and then here 2.5. It means it's scanning a range. Okay. And in this case, as far as I can tell, it didn't find anything, but this is the way how to execute these commands. Let's try to find now a little bit better example. Let me see if I can find something. Yeah, that's a good example here. Just another one. We will copy that. We will delete that. And I will give you now another good example. And it's from the Linux handbook. But don't worry about this. You will find it yourself if you need it. Here we just want to show you a little bit. Alright, look at this. So here it says nmap, and then there is a scan me nmap. So nmap itself provides you a web server that you can scan. Okay, so you don't need to give it an IP address as we did here with the local host or with the 192. You can give it also any type of address, and that's what they did here. And it says starting nmap 780, the version, so it's some time ago. As we can see, the current version is 792, so it was 780 a while ago. Yes, 2023. And then it says host is up. Okay, it gives you the latency. Interesting for an attacker. Then other addresses for scan me, not scanned. Okay, they're not shown. 994 closed ports. So it scanned 994 ports and they were all closed. And now it shows you the open ports. Okay, and that's interesting. So it gives you the port 22 and it shows you what service it is. This is what the artificial intelligence tried to tell you before. Service. Let's go back on page 12. Here, identifies. Here, the first identifies active devices on a network and the service they are running. So AI has no clue what it even means by service. AI is not thinking, but we just found what service means. This is the service it means. Okay, and you see you have SSH, SMTP. Okay, this is some mail. SMTP stands for Secure Mail Transfer Protocol. Google that stuff. This can be an attack vector. It has HTTP, that's the web server, not encrypted. That's the port 80 that we had before. That's here, port 80, see? So this server does not run encrypted traffic, which is also something to notice, okay? Zip, I have no idea what that even is. nping echo, I have no idea what that is. And elite, that's some, they just called it like this. There is no elite service. This would be something suspicious for a hacker. If you find elite in your reconnaissance or any other weird word, you immediately try to find out what that is, especially if it's running on a weird port 31,337. That's unusual, okay? That's very unusual. In the reconnaissance now, you would try to dig deeper on this. You would try to figure out more about that port, okay? So, but that's what it is. So now let's try to read the rest of this green stuff right here. So we figured out if you execute it without any options, this is what you get. Okay. I wonder if we have nmap. Nah, I'm not going to execute it myself. So I just was wondering if I have it on my Windows device here, but let's not do this. I don't want to set up VPNs and never use nmap, by the way. Oh, I got to write that down here. I got to write that down. Never play around with nmap at home. Okay, don't do that. You know why? If you try to scan some companies now, if you go to google.com and nmap it, the next thing you know, you will get a letter from the lawyer with a payment that you gotta do, and you gotta sign an agreement to never do it again. So this scanning is illegal in most countries. Okay, don't do that kind of stuff. It is classified as denial of service attempt. Reconnaissance is illegal. Okay, if you dare to scan, I don't know, some secret agencies out there, or some agencies in general, people went to jail for that kind of stuff. Okay, so never play around with nmap at home. Don't do nmap and then some random websites. Please don't do that. It's dangerous. It will get you in trouble. This is what hackers do behind 10 VPNs. Okay, but this is very important because I just showed you something that can potentially get you in trouble. Please be advised. If there's one thing in this video that you see, let it be this. Okay, don't do that. Okay, so aggressive red color. Okay, but let's read now the stuff. So, enumerate hosts. Okay, you can exclude some stuff, you can exclude files, host discovery. So list scan, simply lists targets to scan. Okay, disable port scan. That's good. Don't do the ports if you're not interested. Treat all hosts as online. Okay, this is also. Why do you need to treat all hosts as online, by the way? Because as an administrator you can you can hide some of the ports. You can make them appear as if they are offline, because they won't respond to anything unless very specific commands. You can hide that, but by telling your nmap, hey, treat them all as online, it can try out a lot of stuff. That's good. Alright, what else do we have? Host discovery, so ping scan. PS, PA, PU, discovery to given ports. Yeah, that's echo, timestamp, network mask. That's all protocol list. That's never do DNS resolution, always resolve. Okay. Trace route. So I don't know a lot of that stuff. What is scan technique? Scan flags. Zombie host. Idle scans. Okay. Protocol scan. Okay, I didn't find anything interesting here. Let's go to the next page. There's more to find here. So let's remove this. Let's remove this. Let's go back to our nmap. Port specification. Service. Oh, nice, nice, nice. It's getting interesting, you guys. Let's see. And I say you guys because that's what you are most likely. So this is a men's sport here. At least as far as I can tell. That's a very men's sport that we are digging into here. Same as soccer or whatever. Football. Okay, so there we go. Oh wait, I don't like it. I want this here. I want this here. And please do that at your job too. Okay? Play around with these representations. Give your colleagues a chance to understand what you're doing for a living by describing it to them the way I do right now. Okay, but let's see. So there is port specification and scan order. Scan ranges, so you can tell it not to scan all 65,000 ports. You might only be interested in some certain ports. Exclude ports, fast mode, scan fewer ports than the default scan. Yes, the fast mode is intelligent. It just scans the stuff that nmap hard-coded in as important. Sequentially, don't randomize. Yeah, randomize is also a thing. Top ports, port ratio, scan ports more common than ratio. I don't know what it is. Service version detection. Probe open ports to determine service version info. That's interesting. That's what you want, okay? So let me try to colorize this. Where is a good color here? There we go. Okay, so look, so this is what we have. Service version detection. Keep in mind that this is very relevant for reconnaissance because you want to find versions that have vulnerabilities in it. And now we come to the point of vulnerability again. Okay? Vulnerability through version detection? Question mark. And the answer is, of course, yes. So, and I want to say, show you now what I mean with that. So first of all, let's close some of the. I have a lot of tabs open. Okay, I'm back at Google now, and then software vulnerabilities. Okay. Score. All right, CVSS score. I will show you something in a moment. Don't worry. There we go. There we go. There we go. This is not nmap anymore. This will be something else now. So let me see. Like this. This is again AI. We will challenge that stuff. And there is another stuff. So severity ratings. We want to have that too. There we go. So there is a CVSS score, and it stands for Common Vulnerability Standardized Score. Is it right? Common Vulnerability Scoring System. That's what it means, okay? There are so many acronyms out there, there's no way to remember all of it, but CVSS, okay? So there is a database of vulnerabilities. And they have the scoring system, and you see it on the right side. 0 means all good, and critical means 9 to 10. And by determining a version of a software, you can see what vulnerabilities it has. And I will show you now how to do it. So let's see. Let's see how to do that. Okay, we remove that. So nmap, this can go. This is also, I don't have a good source, but you can find it. There's no source needed for that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's have this scenario. Web server is running Apache. Okay, that's your scenario. What Apache versions have vulnerabilities? Question mark. That's what the attacker will ask. Okay, so now let's see. Apache web server vulnerabilities 2.4. And now I will just show you. Yeah, maybe not that. Extra security, no, I want this. No, this is not a good source. Okay, look, this is a good source. So I will link it here. So here you have the CVE org. This is where you want to look. CVE, this is common vulnerability, and whatever the E stands for. I don't know, common vulnerabilities and exposures. Common vulnerabilities and exposures is what the CVE stands for. And then what the attacker does, I show you just some examples. So he scans Apache and finds a version. So you can see HTTP server 2.4.64. Let's say you scan the system and you find this. Then you go on this website or on other threat intelligence sources, and then you just look for what is the, I will show you now. Then you just try to find if you can make use of it. Okay, and make use of it would be something like here. There we go. This is what the attacker is doing. Alright, so let's put it like this. Let's put a little bit, there we go. So as you can see, you can find everything about this vulnerability here. So if you're running a server 2.4.64, it has a description, it is all openly available. That's the thing. Not all of these bugs are critical by any means. Okay, but this is what an attacker does. It scans with nmap, it finds a software, Apache web server, it looks up the version, it looks if it can do something with it. Okay, that's what you have. And then you can scroll down. Yeah, and not all of that is severely important, but now let's look up current Apache web server version. So the current version of Apache web server is actually this one. Okay, and this is interesting. So let's see, look at this. The current version of Apache is indeed 2.4.6.5. So it's not a coincidence that oh wait, this is 2.4.6.4. So it looks like they patched it already. Okay, so Apache is doing a great job. So this was found, it was released on the website, and the next thing you know, they patch it. This is the job of a good software vendor. But the problem is, the administrators in each company who are running Apache, they need to install that patch. Do they do that? Well, oftentimes they don't. Okay, you would be surprised how many outdated versions are out there. Okay, that's Reconnaissance just by using nmap. Okay, just by using open ports. This is how you get to the CVE score. This is how you get to this website, CVE or ORG. As you can see, there's always the rabbit hole, as they call it, it goes pretty deep. Okay, and this is just one of many things that we figured out. And by looking at the timer of this video, we are over 1 hour already. And we just digged into the Nmap rabbit hole. There would have been many other ways to do that, but just be aware Nmap is the most popular one. Okay, then we have a script scan, OS detection. Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's mark that as well. OS detection. So, you want OS detection as well. OS is operating system. Okay, and by figuring out what operating system is running on, you can do a whole lot. And I'm Google that now. I will Google now operating system vulnerabilities. So I go here, you can look at that, and Windows Web Server vulnerabilities. There we go. Yes. Yeah, Microsoft EES is the stuff that you... Microsoft Server, SharePoint. Yeah, I can't find a good vulnerability now, but yeah, that's okay. I can't find a good example now, but just be aware you can detect the operating system as well. Timing and performance. Okay, that's not utterly important. So I would say let's not dig deeper into this whole Nmap stuff. Okay, I want to show you now some other... Oh, excuse me, I just hit my mic. I just want to show you a few more techniques. So Nmap is it's good enough for now. This is very technical. And let's go back to this page here. Just try to remember some of these things, and whenever it comes to vulnerability, you need to just recognize some of those, okay, in your daily job. And the idea is obviously you might be working with some of this. So for example, Nessus is also a scanner that we used in hacker classes. Wireshark we used, but you gotta be on the network already. That's the thing. So let's not go into this next step, because Reconnaissance, it's not necessarily the first step is really you have no access at all. Once you are already in a network, you can do Reconnaissance too, but this is the like a second stage Reconnaissance. We are looking at the first stage Reconnaissance here. Okay, I want to make you familiar now with some completely different method of Reconnaissance. Okay, and we work with these bubbles now. So, what else is there in Recon? Question mark. This was technical, and let me drink a little water now before we jump into the next stuff. Alright, so the next stuff will be to get away a little bit from these technical things, and let's go to social engineering. Reconnaissance by social engineering. Okay, let's see what the AI comes up with, and let's get some typical, what is this, typical backbone of an attack. Planning, preparation, achieve, that's execution. Yeah, that's interesting, but I'm not sure if I agree with that. Let me see. So yeah, so the BSI has even, they do a great job here as usual. So let me give you a good source. So since I am located in Germany, what we oftentimes do is we use German sources, But luckily, these people from the BSI, this is like the national, this is like the NIST, okay, just in Germany. This is what it is. So I'm not sure why this is a little bit, okay. So, and now, what is social engineering? Okay, I like that. I copy that sentence. And in a moment we will get to the question how it is related to Lockheed Martin. Okay. So first, let's read it. What is social engineering? Social engineering takes advantage of human characteristics such as willingness to help others. And that's what it is. Okay, so we are the good guys. We protect companies. We help executive officers to do their job, and we help protect company assets. But in that way, we have the willingness to help others. Okay, because you guys are not hackers. You decided to be on the blue side, on the blue team, on the good side of things. But this willingness to help others indeed exists with people, so you can just make a very simple experiment. If you go to the cafe or to just some public places and just smile at somebody, for example, at the cashier giving you the coffee, just smile at the people, and what you will realize is you will get a smile back most often. And this is the human characteristics of being friendly back to somebody who's friendly to you. Well, the person smiling at you might be the hacker trying to do reconnaissance, but it would be considered rude to be suspicious all your life. So you cannot be suspicious at every smile you get, right? So you expect, oh, that's just a friendly person trying to chat or something, and that's what we humans do. And here you see some other things. Trust, fear, respect for authority are even exploited to manipulate people in a very clever way. Yes, exactly. So somebody might be claiming to be one of the employees of that company in a higher ranking position. So in talking to you, you never have seen this person, but immediately you have the idea of, oh, I have to comply because this is an important person, dressed importantly, maybe fancy dressed, and speaks very nicely. So you think, oh, this is one of us. Well, it's not. But this is what social engineering is: exploiting people. Cyber criminals, what do they write here? Persuade their victims to share confidential information, go around security functions, send money, or install malware on their personal device on a computer linked to a company network. Yeah, so a person might be the typical way that is a smoking break. Okay, so when you go for a smoke, in most companies, you go outside of the door. Okay, and then you stand maybe in front of the street, in front of the entrance of the company. You're just standing there smoking. Well, that's the perfect place to be catched by a social engineering attack, because the main entrance of a building, that's where I expect to find something interesting as an attacker. Okay, so for that reason, a lot of companies they have inside smoking areas to avoid people going outside taking a smoke. Okay, for that reason, a lot of companies they have canteens where you can go eat your lunch inside of the company. Again, there are no strangers allowed. So to avoid people going outside in a restaurant eating there. Whenever as an employee you are somewhere outside of the premises of your company, you can be a subject to, or you can be subjected to a social engineering attack. Be aware of this. So, what does it say? Social engineering is nothing new. It has been the ABC of the broadest spectrum of scams for as long as there have been people. Exactly, it's not digital. It has been. When your grandma receives a phone call and they say, "Oh, it's your nephew. I need urgently money," the grandma might give them the money. Stuff like that. Or some people even show up in front of you, knock at your door and selling some stuff to old people. All of this is social engineering. But when it comes to reconnaissance, we have to go back a little bit. When it comes to reconnaissance, we are talking about people trying to get insights of your company. Okay, they want to know what your name is. So let me give you an example, because the name example was pretty good. So let's say your name is Adam Smith. Okay, that's a typical name. I hope I didn't hit anybody here, but that's a random name. Okay, your name is Adam Smith. Okay, then your company is, and now we gotta be careful not to pick anything, but we call it, I don't know, the Smith Works, something like this. Okay, they are producing metal, or let's call it Metal Works. And then LTD, something like this. You work for Metalworks Ltd. Okay. So let's say I get these informations as a hacker. What do I do with this? Well, it's very simple. Your email address now is very simple. Your mail might be, I think I wrote mail wrong, your email might be Adam Smith at metalworks.com. That's very likely. Okay, so we hit the likely scenario here. So why is that important now? Well, if I figure out your email address, I can send emails that look just like yours. Okay, I just need to create something, and we will do this now. I just want to show that to you because this is what Reconnaissance is all about. So after I figured out your email, I will create a domain. I will create myself an email address, and I will show you how to do it. It will be called Adam Smith, but not at metalworks.com. It will be this. R and N. Looks like an M. Okay? And this and this. If you don't look closely, you will think this is metalworks.com. And you can be sure rn@metalworks.com is not registered anywhere, most likely. You register that domain, you create yourself an email, and you can do an Adam Smith there, and you send now emails out with that email. And now I can look like you for your colleagues. Some of them might not recognize. Okay, this is the trick. This is Reconnaissance. After I know what your name is, I can do tricks like that. And I didn't even plan to have Metalworks and RN. There are many other tricks like this that just copy. This is fraud, okay? This can happen to you. This is Reconnaissance. Again, what does it say? Opportunity to reach millions, potential victims, blah blah. Okay, this is nothing interesting. And now we go to the next page here, and we try to figure out what else interesting we can find. Okay, so let's remove this. What else is recon? Okay, how can I recognize this? This is boring. How can you protect yourself? So how you can recognize, read it up yourself on that website. But I want to show you this. How can you protect yourself against social engineering? So let's read it. Here, by the way, I don't have to check every sentence if it makes sense or not. This is from a very good source, and the people creating that kind of stuff, they are professionals. So I'm not picking on every sentence. I trust these people. Okay, they're really good. This is not AI garbage here. This is quality. And that's why we only use quality sources whenever we can. AI is, I just used it, but I verified it, and you can be sure that whatever you have seen here, it has a little bit of a value to it. Here you can be 100% sure it's really good. Okay, social engineering is used by criminals to take advantage, so that's just a repetition here. To reduce risk, social engineering fraud schemes, you should follow the basic rules listed below. That's good. Use social network responsibility. Oh, that's a good thing. Oh, that's good. I had that thought in my head before, social networks, and then I lost it, and I'm really happy that these guys are remembering me. We will dig into this in a moment. Social networks, you all love it, right? You all have a LinkedIn account or whatever, Facebook, well, LinkedIn most likely. We are going to see LinkedIn. Let me add the logo here so I don't forget. Oh wait, that's bad. It has a German stuff in it. You don't want that. There we go. So LinkedIn, we are going to look into this in a moment. Do not share any confidential information about your employer or your work on private or professional social networks. Yes, so don't go to dating websites and telling what cool stuff you're doing, okay? Don't do that. Especially on dating websites, people tend to share a lot of information in the hope of increasing their attractiveness, okay? Don't do that kind of stuff, okay? Always keep your brain on, even in team stuff like this. So, never share passwords, access data, account information over the telephone or in emails. Remember that banks or other credible companies never ask customers to send. Okay, that's the basic stuff. Yes, don't send anybody your password. Take special care when you receive emails from people you don't know. And also take care if you receive emails of people you think you know. Read the read very carefully what the sender address. You might think you know them, but you don't. Okay? So, is there a hint of doubt or reasons for suspicion that an email could be part of an attack? Yes, they always ask you for something urgent. Okay? Don't fall for that trap. Nothing is urgent in our job as a defender. You have time to prepare. Whenever you face urgency, be curious. There's something wrong there. And another thing is, if you work in a company where urgency is the name of the game, maybe change that company because your manager might be just not doing a good job over there. Okay, when everything is urgent, something is wrong. Urgency can never be the normal workday. Okay, urgency is extraordinary. And I met a lot of people who create urgency as a habit. Okay, they think they need to create this to motivate their employees or to keep things under pressure. just just know urgency is a very bad situation, and you only want to experience it in extraordinary cases, like an incident happened and you gotta move. Okay, that's urgent situation. All right, don't get into urgency as a daily habit. And the emails, they make use of that. They add some urgency as well. You're like, oh, that's normal, and then you respond to it, not thinking about much. Don't do that. If an email request is an immediate response, take the time to give the sender a call to be sure that the email is legitimate. Yes, exactly. Call the person, because then you will know if it's Adam Smith or if it's some random guy. The attacker will never call you. Uh, Usually, they won't call you. There are sophisticated attacks where the attacker knows that you have never talked to Adam Smith in your company, but he is somewhere there. In that case, they might call you, because in that case they know you have no clue how Adam Smith sounds like, so they can talk to you and participate in that conversation, and you will still think, oh, it's real Adam Smith. No, it isn't. Okay, so this is what we have. Now, let's go to LinkedIn. That's interesting. LinkedIn. Okay, so now I gotta be careful. I would like to show you LinkedIn profiles, but obviously I can't. Yeah, I can't show you a LinkedIn profile now, but we gotta make something up here. I would love to show you some LinkedIn profiles and show you how not to do that, but that's not allowed here. Okay, so we gotta improvise then a little bit. LinkedIn profile example. I gotta find some picture, okay? I hope I don't. Okay, come on, there must be. Those look like real people. I need a fake profile. Fake. Fake LinkedIn profile. Those look like real people. It's fake. Oh, there's a Harry Potter profile. I like it. Let's see. There are people who show you how to spot a fake. Faked LinkedIn profiles. Yes, I like that. Yes, 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 yes. That's I like it a lot. So let's use that because it already has been called a fake, which is good. It has already been called a fake. So here, this is a Sarah Campbell. This is a fake profile. They sometimes use females. Is this experience followers senior at BlackRock? Okay, I'm not going to do that just in case. Yeah. But I think this example is good enough. So look, let's assume this is not fake. We are not looking for fakes here, but this is a fake, so there is nobody to be upset about it. Here you have people giving where they work. That's interesting, right? So you know already a name. This is Reconnaissance on LinkedIn. So you know the name. Oh, again it was. I clicked something. The name and the company. Let's assume it's not fake. So again, you can do the email trick here. Email trick. Can do the email trick. That's one thing. But what else do you know? You know what department the person works on. Okay, department. Then, based on the skills reveal the software that is utilized in the company. Okay, that's a very cheap trick. So let me give you an example. What are typical, let me see, typical corporate software. Okay, typical CRM software. There we go. So I will show you now. Let me see. I will show you now the typical CRM software. Okay, and there's a German sentence in it. Don't worry about it. That's what it is. Okay, and this is usually connected to the LinkedIn profile. They love to do that. They love to show off what great, I don't know, pipe drive expert they are. Okay, so once you know that, you know they use pipe drive. Let's say it here. There we go. Pipe drive expert. What do? Well, let me show you. You go to CVE pipe drive CRM. Okay. Okay, and now let's see what we can find with AI again. So we have found something. Pipe drive. It has some sort of vulnerabilities going on here. So typically refers to securities, specifically those affecting third-party plugins that integrate with Pipedrive. And there you have some plugins, something. So you know from the LinkedIn profile, okay, Sarah Campbell works at this and that company, Brockton or whatever, and she's a Pipedrive expert. What do you know from that? The company uses Pipedrive. The next thing you do is you look for vulnerabilities with that Pipedrive, and let me click on one of that. And immediately let me see. So immediately we have found that kind of stuff. Okay, critical vulnerability, pipe drive, and so on. WordPress, so somehow it is related to WordPress. So don't worry about any of that. The hacker will take his time. He will figure these things out. It's pretty fresh, July 19th, 2025. Okay, so your company might be, and this is just one example. Okay, there are so many more. And be aware, what do you share on LinkedIn? You don't want to share specific tool expertise. Well, that's the thing. You want to do that because headhunters, they will be hiring you for that expertise. But at the same time, that's reconnaissance. That's what I do if I want to hack a company. Okay, I can show you real examples, but the thing is, you create a fake LinkedIn account and then you look at people. Okay, you put in. You don't want to use your own LinkedIn account, obviously. So here again, caution: do not browse all kinds of people with your real account. Don't do that. They will grow suspicious. They will be like, who is that? And the next thing you know, obviously don't do that with a fake account as well. My point is, don't do that at all. But at the same time, be aware that, oh wait, what is this? I want my text to be white. There we go. So, and we need this. So the thing is, don't go on LinkedIn now with your account and looking for people. Okay? They will contact you, they will ask you what the heck, what are you doing. It is very suspicious if a person just looks at accounts. But don't worry, hackers will not use their own accounts. I'm just warning you, kind people who are protecting companies, not to go on a LinkedIn rampage there by following my advice here. This is not an advice. I just want to say this is what hackers do. So we need here another bubble that says find out expertise in a profile that is linked to software. Chances are high that they are using that software there. Okay. Alright, so this is what we found out by reading the BSE. Let's go back to the BSE here, social networks. So we figured that one out. Oh, I think we figured all of that out actually. This video is now 1.5 hours long. You guys, I really didn't expect this to go on for so long, but the time flies if you're busy, as I usually like to say. Let's go back to that page and try to see, did we cover all what we planned at the beginning? Any sign of adversary to gather information about the target. Okay. How to spot recon? Yeah, we didn't figure out how to spot it, right? We have to go and deal about that. What to do about it? Potential damage, possible risks. Yes, so you know what? Let's copy that page here. Now let's target. We now figured out a lot what it is. Okay. Any sign, I think this one we figured out. Any sign of adversary to get information. You now have some idea what it is, email and so on. Now we want your company that you want to protect. Yes, we figured that out as well. So I think the third one, we need to figure out number 3 now. One moment, what is this? What is this? It has to look a little pretty at least. So our goal is how to spot, what to do and so on. So let's create like a new page. Let's remove that. And let's keep this at the top now. Ideally in one of those bubbles. For some reason I like those bubbles today. So how to spot recon. This is one. Good. Then another one is what to do about it. The answer is simple awareness, you guys. What to do is awareness. Okay, potential damage of recon. So I just put these bubbles down here, and we think about in a moment what to do with them. Like this, like this. Also, let me know in the comments if you feel stress if I take longer here to click something together. Let me know if it stresses you, because then we will eventually do a psychology course here, how to deal with pressure, how to deal with the feeling of being stressed. We can do that. Okay, we need a blank page at the end always. Okay, so how to spot recon. Let's give it a nice color first. Okay, let's give it a nice warm green. And I don't know if it's warm, but it's nice. It's not warm enough. Wait a minute. Ah, that's nice. Alright, how to spot recon. Okay, so now we need to find a source. How can you protect similar topics? I just Google and then we see what it spotting recon or how to spot nmap scans since here. And the great thing is, wow, I love it. I love it. Nmap itself answers you that question, and this shows how professional these people are. Okay, I give you the link. We will read it, but I want you, of course, to read it yourself too. Okay? Don't rely on people giving you everything on the silver platter. Okay, so now we have this page. We will remove all of that. And we will put this here possibly, because now we need to read a little bit. Okay, that's a lot of reading, people, so get ready for a long, boring part of the video now. I will copy the whole thing because you have good screens and you can zoom in. If I can read it, you can read it. That's the logic. Okay, let's make it bigger. So that's a boring session of reading now, but you gotta stay with me, okay? It's not cinema, it's not Hollywood here. And I understand if you want to skip that and read it at a later point, but just know that the fight goes on here. The attention span is telling you now to look for something else. Wait a minute, let's make it easier on you guys. Wait a minute, we need something. We need something nice now. We need something. There we go. This is what we need now. There we go. This is what we need now, alright? So now you can stay with me a little longer. Now you have something. Look at this. The attention span is secured, and now we are going to read Nmap. So, some people believe that detecting port scans is a waste of time. I don't know who these people might be, but you are not these people, right? You don't believe it's a waste of time. They are so common that any organization connected to the internet will be regularly scanned, correct? Again, I'm not fact-checking any of this. I gave you the source, nmap.org. Excellent. The people working there, I highly respect them. Those are the best of the industry when it comes to networking, when it comes to scans. You can trust these people. You can trust in their expertise. Okay, common, very few of people represent targeted attacks, correct. Some of them aren't. You gotta detect them. Okay, let's get to the... I scanned tens of thousands, blah blah blah, organizations, tough. Take your time to read it. Pause the video. I just want to find something. Other administrators take different view. They attend system logs alone are rarely sufficient. Yes, such error tools, log monitoring tools as can certainly help. I like it. Log watch, swatch. Oh, I like that. Okay, log monitoring. Then, special purpose port scans. Nmap, two common examples, port sentry, scan log, avoid, okay. A prior installation of IDS, yes, I love it. IDS, they did a good job here. Intrusion detection system, okay. But not forget risks, a section called subverting, SNOT has multiple remotely vulnerabilities, commercial. Where is the word sim and SOC? Obviously, you can use logging and monitoring to do that. Why don't they, despite... Let me use here logging, monitoring. Yeah, this is log monitoring actually. Log watch and swatch. Yeah, this is okay. ScanLogD has around and was carefully designed for security during its lifetime. Yeah, ScanLogD, interesting. But yeah, so the idea is, what I want to tell you is, there is ways to detect Nmap scans by logging the activities. Okay, logging and monitoring is the word that you want to have here to detect this kind of stuff. I don't see the word because they are very yeah, they are hiding. So they are indeed not telling you there is no silver bullet, obviously. But when you wanna detect this, you can use tools that you see here. So the trick is IDS and logging monitoring tools, log monitoring tools. That's how you can detect it. Nobody says it's difficult. Okay, so I guess your attention span made it. But now we had other things that we want to discuss, especially how to detect social engineering. And I'm going to Google that as well. Detecting social engineering. Okay. Let's look for a good GitHub. Do we have even a social engineering? So I'm at the American Australian government. Common targets recognizing. Perfect. Australian government appears to be delivering something here. That's good. Let's give them credit by linking them here. Okay, so this was Nmap. Now, oh, that's good. Yes, yes, yes. We are going through all of it now. It's really, I like it. So my screenshot here sometimes is not working properly, but we are going to chew through this now. So I think here your attention span is not as heavily attacked as here. My attention span suffers too, so I don't want to read through all of that, but by the yellow boxes, I hope that's how much the attention can that's the hit that it can take. Okay, so Australian government, what does it do? Recognizing social engineering. So it says highly convincing, blah blah blah, unusual attachments or website links. Good, I agree. We are not going to read any of that. Urgent or authoritative requests by wishing. What is that word? I gotta Google that. I don't know that word. Wishing. Wishing German. So voice phishing. Okay, okay, okay. People, what the heck? So don't. Okay, Australian government. Sorry, but there is a critique here. There is a critique here. So people, who the heck is supposed to know phishing? It's not even an English word. So I don't know. So it's voice phishing. Unbelievable. So they let me down here a little bit. Okay, whatever. So voice phishing, not sending an email, calling. I get it now. Okay, so let's see. Let's keep reading the Australians, but the first impression they did a failure here already. Okay, let's keep. Request to run code by bypass. Okay, let's see, what is this? Request to run code or bypass security controls and procedures. Malicious actors often attempt to bypass some controls, persuading staff. Yes, that's the smoke break. You smoke with the people, they're like, oh, by the way, you're an administrator, right? I need to do this and that, and then, yeah, sure, let's come in. And there you have it. Sharing documents. User opens a document. Yes, of course, never do that. Malicious actors may also use social media or online gaming. Okay. Being online. So you guys never expose your job in online gaming. Okay, so if you play World of Warcraft, don't tell them that you're working for this and that company. So online gaming, I think, is not. And I think I've seen enough of the Australian government. So I'm sorry, you people. This is you can't do this. This is just pathetic. Don't do that. We find a better source now. Australian government, no thank you. So again, detecting, detect social engineering attacks. We find a good source now. Don't worry. So, and it's not AI, by the way. I want a really good source now. Material security, Canadian bankers. Okay, let's try Canada now. Uh, oh, oh, they have YouTube videos. They have it all. Okay, okay. That's Canadian banking might be something. Let's try that out. It's this one. They have a nice picture here. I like it. There we go. We add the logo as well. There we go. So what do they think of? They have a nice life cycle. That's that's always professional, isn't it? Okay, but do they have a detection? How to protect yourself? Yes. Let's read that too. How to protect yourself. So I just show you what I would do if I would gather ideas. Do it yourself. If you don't like any of these sources, if you're like, man, I know a better one, Reddit or so. Reddit might be good, by the way. Do that, okay? We're just doing a nice walkthrough how to find it. So what does this life cycle do? Research, choose something, common worry, pandemic, identify. Oh, that's better than I thought. Choose current worry. Oh, pandemic, tax, filling deadline. Identify potential targets, gather information about the targets from various sources, online research, dumpster diving. Oh, I like that. Yes. Okay, Canada, thank you for that. Thanks for that. We gotta cover that dumpster diving. Ah, dumpster diving. Funny term, but these are the things you gotta do. And now we find. I like that. Let's we will go into that. Then hook. Engage target using fake but believable story. Build a relationship. Yes, so for example, if there's a smoker and you just take your lighter and you help somebody to light his cigarette. Okay? We are going to find a picture. Okay, look at this. Light someone's cigar. Ah, there we go. I like that. Wait. Isn't there a single picture of lighting somebody else's cigar? Lighting. I want the pictures here because that. There we go. There we go. That's what you want to do. Okay. It took me some time, but it has to be a little funny. Okay. So as a guy smoke at a smoking break, you offer him your lighter, and you know what? You build a relationship that easily. It's not that difficult. You just be friendly. You're like, oh, you forgot your lighter. Here, I got you. Scare the target into acting. Well, maybe that helps, but I don't think. Motivate the target to act. Yeah, I don't know you have to scare anybody, but maybe I have no clue. Extract. Fraudulently obtain personal or financial information. Yes. Convince target to send money. It's not just money, people. It's not just money. It's convince target to share information with you. Sending money is so suspicious. Who would ever do that? But that's okay. And then exit. End relationship. Yeah, say goodbye. You had what you want. And oh, by the way, sorry, I couldn't help you too much, but good luck with that. So he shared something, some problem with you, and you can't help. That's what it is. Scare victim into staying silent. cover tracks. Yeah, that's too brutal here. The victim will stay silent because the victim forgets you in 5 minutes. It's just a break to smoke. Okay, it's just a smoke break. Just a random guy. You forgot him the moment he leaves, so of course you will be silent. But okay, still, I like in dumpster diving for sure. We'll find a good picture for that as well. Yeah, I mean, it has to be fun a little bit. Okay, how to protect yourself. Be suspicious of requests for personal information. Remember, your bank will never, we got that. Install antivirus, anti-spyware, firewall tools. Yes, of course. Be wary of downloading free apps. Yeah, that's obviously. Slow down and do not let messages of urgency influence you. I like it. So they repeat what I just also had in mind. Slow down. Okay? Slow down. We are not in a hurry, ever. That's a wisdom I learned when driving a car, you know. I'm not in a hurry driving a car because I don't want to make mistakes. It might be the last one if you're driving. So in security, it's not your last mistake, but it's a costly one at least. And so don't do these things. Always take the time to review the details. Always take the time to watch, for example, this video or read a good book. Reading a good book, that's something I have to make a video about that. Good books on cybersecurity. I gotta if I remember, or remind me in the comments if you even watch that cyber stuff. So good books on cybersecurity. There are a lot of them. Research the facts before you take action. So yes, so Canada did a good job. I like it. So this all makes sense how to spot recon, and now I will give you a little bit of dumpster diving. How to spot recon, and now we find the good dumpster diving. Okay. Oh, I like that. Yes. That's yes, that's good. I mean, we need some catchy pictures here. I'm not sure if this one will make it to one of the thumbnails, but yeah. So let's do some dumpster diving here. Okay. So what are typical information that are being thrown into the trash? Okay. Dumpster diving. Information. Dumpster diving in cybersecurity. Dumpster, physical dumpster. Yeah. Computer weekly. What is dumpster diving? Maybe not. Oh, not VPN. I don't know if you want to make advertisement for NordVPN here. Wikipedia. Oh, Mitre Corporation. What the heck? Yes, I like it. I like it already, and you get the source. Because Mitre is one of those other sources that you really wanna see. So, and now I need to copy, of course, some picture to talk about. Oh, I like that page. I just discovered that page with you guys. I've never seen it, but it's really good on first sight. So we might want to look at this a little more. First of all, let's make this a little bigger. Let's do this here to front. Wait, where is it to front? Interesting. Isn't there a shortcut that order here? Bring to front. There we go. Alright. Priorities. You gotta have the picture first. And there's two. Okay. So, what do we do here now? Let's read the description first. Dumpster diving. Okay, an adversary cases, an establishment in search through trash bins, dumpsters, or areas where company information may have been accidentally discarded for information items, which may be useful to the dumpster diver. Okay, so what do you typically throw away? Notes, for example. Okay, you had a meeting, you have a piece of paper, you write stuff down, and then you realize, or you write an email based on that notes, and you throw it in the dumpster. Don't do that. Don't ever throw a piece of paper away at the dumpster. That's reconnaissance. You might not believe it. You might be like, wait, this is not even cyber. Well, it very well is. Okay, dumpster diving. Reconnaissance happens in the places where you simply don't expect it. And throwing something away, oh my god. Or if you're sitting in a cafe and you leave a piece of paper on the table because there are a lot of people, you are in a hurry or whatever, phone, and then you just leave the table and you leave behind some paperwork. That's critical. That paperwork will be picked up by somebody. Then the devastating nature of the items. Yes, devastating nature of items. Any kind of notes that you take in a context of your job is devastating nature. Personal photos, emails, bank accounts. Yes, throwing away some paperwork from your bank. Don't do that, okay? And obviously, I need a picture now of a shredder. We need a picture of a shredder because that's what you gotta be using for paper a lot. That's pretty much the answer already to that, but still. You gotta sometimes remember that stuff is important. You need this. Okay, that's the answer to it. So software, tech, including hardware devices. Yeah, throwing away USB sticks or hardware devices, destroy them. Okay, so yes, you are destroying valuable technology there, but never just put a hard drive into the electrical trash. Somebody will pick up that hard drive and try to boot it. Okay. So whenever it comes to hard drives, hit it with a hammer. Okay? Yes, you are destroying valuable. I understand that, but still do it. Okay? Destroy it, because you don't have the time to overwrite it with bits and bytes, and even then you cannot be sure if the software you used is working flawlessly. Okay, but this page here, really good. Recon dumpster diving. There was another train of thought I just had. Devastating nature. Yeah, that train of that disappeared, but that's okay. I have it again. So another recon activity, and then we are done with this. Okay, so I want to show you the recon activity that I mentioned in the first video. Cafe, looking out of the window. Let me find the picture. I just realized that the picture is maybe more interesting than there's a funny one. Yeah, that one is really funny, but it looks, yeah, I cannot do it. I cannot pick this guy as well because it would be racist. I cannot pick this. Yeah, this. This one is good. This one is good. There we go. Okay, so have you ever seen a picture like this? There's a guy in a cafe. He has a phone. He's looking outside of the window. Have you ever seen this? I want you to notice that in your daily job. Okay? People dreamingly having a coffee in their hands, having some piece of paper, some newspaper, and detective in the cafe. Because I noticed that kind of stuff lately. Okay? And when you pay attention, these three pictures that you see here, they will look to you like this. Okay? Any of these pictures here lead to this. I know it's a little bit strange at first, but you gotta think like the criminal to catch the criminal, alright? So this is what it looks to me when I see people like that watching outside of the window, because the next thing I want to see is what is on the other side of that window, okay? And that's the target company. And when you spot people like that, you should not have a phone call, okay? You should not phone forbidden. Let's build a story here. Okay, so for you, whenever you spot this, and I have to put this a little bit here and this a little, make this a little pretty like this, and make this a little pretty like this. So whenever you spot that, your reaction should be, don't use your phone, don't have a confidential talk with a guy like that nearby, because this guy is doing reconnaissance on you. And the next thing that will happen, this person will try to interact with you, light you a cigar, or spending you a drink, or doing whatever. It's not that obvious, but the guy doesn't look like that. The guy does look like this, maybe this, but this is what you should see immediately in a public area. Same with buses, okay? This is recon, so we covered 2 hours now. We could go on for another day with this kind of stuff, but I just want to show you, I just wanted to show you. This is reconnaissance, okay? It's not always technology, but this is how it looks like. This is the Lockheed Martin first step that you need to pay attention. This is how it starts. How to spot recon, what to do about it, potential damage of recon. Let's talk through these steps here. Potential damage, possible risks. So potential damage is obvious. So all the other steps that you have in the kill chain here, all the other steps, weaponization, delivery, and all the way down to action on objective, they are enabled by reconnaissance. So if you can stop it right here, the other steps won't happen, okay? So if the guy sitting in the cafe cannot find anything of interest, there is nobody having an interesting phone conversation, there isn't anything happening, he will leave and go to another cafe and try it there. He will go to some other place where he can eat a hamburger at lunchtime next to a company, of course, and try it there, okay? He will dumpster dive some other trash bin, but you can stop it right there. Okay, what else do we have? Potential damage of recon, yes. Possible risks, yes, we covered this. So the risk that you need to be aware of is the social media risk, because that's the one that you are already doing wrong. This is you today, okay? Not the fake profile. You have a LinkedIn profile and you are telling the whole world what nice expertise you have. If you are working in security, don't put that on your LinkedIn profile, okay? So if you are telling what kind of firewall you're using, they will know what endpoint detection professional you are. They will know if you are Windows or Linux. They can find anything about you. Don't be that guy. Another thing I want to show you. So what we forgot is certifications, okay? LinkedIn certifications. Okay, what is out there? So there are some, let's say Windows or Fortinet. Let's say, yeah, Windows certifications. Okay, here the 12 best Microsoft certifications 2024. I just want to point that out. Oh, that's a bad screenshot. Let me try that again. There we go. So this is on your LinkedIn profile as well, all day, every day. Okay? And some of that might be pretty bad. The attacker might find that. Oh, so you are Azure fundamentals. Okay, so these guys are using cloud. All right. Or is it Amazon Web Service? AWS. Certifications. There we go. We have them too. Let's find a good screenshot. There we go. This is you, all day, every day, and you're proud of that. And you should be. But be aware that the guy is going to dumpster dive that kind of stuff. Dumpster diving can happen on LinkedIn too, by the way. So you are leaving that kind of information. So I know that you are a data engineering associate at AWS. Okay, good job. I will find vulnerabilities with that. I will find you with this. And I will find attack vectors dedicated to this kind of stuff or to this kind of stuff. Okay, so be aware that this can be an issue. So what you can do instead is telling the world that you have certifications on request. How about that? Okay, but don't tell people what you're using. This can be an attack vector. Okay, so I think we are through with the recon. So as I said, we could go into so many other topics, but I think you got an idea. You received some. Nmap was really good. So let's turn all of that green. It's okay. We're done with it. Wait, how can I do this? Like this. Where's the nice green color? And here. Where's the nice green color? And here. So we covered all of that. Okay. What would be a nice wrap up for all of these things? So let me scroll through that. We covered a little bit. I'm surprised myself that we took 2 hours for this. I actually aimed for I aimed for 20 minutes, I think. It's 2 hours now. It's okay. We're not in a hurry. What else interesting can I tell you before saying goodbye? So we covered this and that. So I think there's a lot of stuff that also let's go back to this for just a moment. We started all of this on the second page of this by recognizing how garbage AI is on that topic. It leads you into the completely wrong direction. Okay, if we went for topology, we would have ended up at some uncomprehendable stuff. Okay, so here the red markings of AI. I think this is also a key takeaway here. So whenever you think about cybersecurity, don't get your answers from artificial intelligence. At least not the stuff that is available as of now, November 25. There is no good stuff here. And I think November 25 might be, it's 2025. I think there are some countries out there who have different orders. So here in Germany, day, month, year, but I know it's different for other countries. They mess things up totally. Even simple things are being messed up. Yeah, but that's what we have here, people. So Reconnaissance is covered. I will do as many videos as I think is interesting to people. I think we have a very unique approach to the topic just because the route we took, it's a brainstorming approach. I do not prepare any of that. Okay, I just sit down and together we what is the word? We discover. We go on a discovery together on this. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I will try to find some time for the other steps as well. I think Reconnaissance is the step that is most understandable for even non-technicians. The other ones, like weaponization, the other ones, they will be a little bit more technical, I believe. At least as much as I can go into the technical sides. And yeah, so I think we can leave it at that. Thank you for staying with me for 2 hours, for over 2 hours, and I will see you, or we will see each other in the next video when we cover the weaponization part. Until then, have a good time and see you soon. Bye.